We are from Group 2 to present about a research on factors that influence substance abuse among students. Our group members are myself, Ahmad Mahfuz from MRSM Langkawi, my friends Anis Ayuni, Hazim, and Fikri. So, in Malaysia, there are strict laws that forbid citizens, especially students, in school to consume prohibited substances such as drugs, cigarettes, vaping, or any substances that can harm the body of a human being. Students in Malaysia from age 4 to 17 years old that have to attend school need to obey the rules in schools. Furthermore, the Parliament of Malaysia just passed a law that prohibited children aged 18 years and below to buy and consume any variant of cigarettes, including electronic cigarettes. This is done to put a stop to the whole citizens of Malaysia from smoking and consuming prohibited substances that are dangerous, as is named Tobacco Generational Endgame (GEG) laws. This research is done to investigate the factors that influence substance abuse among students, especially factors involving family background and any other external factors that may influence the students' behaviors in substance abuse. This research focused on the students in MRSM, since all the respondents interviewed are studying in MRSM around Malaysia. There are 10 students who were interviewed with a variety of questions to have a view of their lifestyles and background. The questions include their demography, parents' income, parents' marital status, peer influence, and any other external factors that may influence them in substance abuse. These data are then analyzed and discussed among us to investigate which factors influence most and what and how dominant are family background in influencing the students to involve in substance abuse. The findings are presented in a visual graphic for ease of analysis and explanation. Hopefully, this research may help us to oversee and acknowledge how much our background and lifestyle of a student affect their behaviors daily. Different students may need a different approach to build a strong personality in achieving success in their academics and co-curriculum. As teachers, we have the responsibility to shape the next generation and help the government in curbing substance abuse among future generations.
Hello and Assalamualaikum everyone. My name is Fikri. Today I'm gonna talk about literature review about substance or drug abuse among students. Substance or drug abuse is a serious health problem affecting usually adolescent and young adults. It affects both males and females, and it is the major source of crime in youth and health related problem in many communities. According to Diagnostic and Statistical Manual and Mental Disorder, substance abuse is the current use of substance that may cause physical or social harm to the user. What are the factors that we got from the literature review? We can divide the big factors or the major factors that contributed to substance abuse among students into three major groups, which is individual factors, familial factors, and social factors. What are the things in these three major factors? First is individual factors. There are many individual factors that we can list in that we get in the literature review, which is individual curiosity, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, ADHD, post-traumatic stress disorder, and low self-esteem. Other than that, familial factors. Family is also a major part why students contributed to substance abuse. This is because family is the closest person in youth daily life. The factors that listed under the familial factors, which are drug addict parent, broken family, lack of parental support and encouragement, and parent-child conflict. And last is social factors. Social factors also one of the major factors why students contribute to substance. The main point of these social factors are exposure to drugs, school friends, bullying, and gang affiliation. What are the implications if a student use drug or other product under substance abuse? The implication of substance abuse to the life of an individual are enormous and can be categorized as social, physical, medical, or psychiatric or psychological. Firstly is social. There are many social implications of substance abuse, ranging from loss of interest in study, break of the interpersonal relationship, truancy, and dropout of schools. Next is physical abuse. Physical abuse means all forms of maltreatment that may result into physical injuries like bruise, laceration, fractures, or burns. Substance abuse was shown to be related with self-afflicted physical injuries like cutting himself, bruising, or even burns. And lastly is medical or psychiatrical implication. This effect because if students use substance abuse is much worse than the social and physical implication. About 47% of patients have infection complication with pulmonary infection and other disease. What are the best solutions that we found in 8 articles that we have reviewed before? Prevention is the best solution of drug addiction, and the following preventive measures are worthwhile in addressing the menace of drug addiction. These include public enlightenment activities to increase general awareness to the society problem and mass media. Seminar or workshop are tools to accomplish this goal. Other than that, preventive education for targeted audience such as families, schools, workers, and religious organizations and out of school youth is also effective tool of provision of recreational facilities for youth in rural and urban areas, raising the minimum age of purchasing any tobacco products to 21 years old, improve and effective control of drug availability, as well as drug education as part of curriculum for preschool children. The effective strategy for prevention of substance abuse is throughout childhood education program provided by trained teachers and addressing their socio-economic problems. During middle childhood and adolescence, parenting skill program are the most effective way of preventing adolescent substance abuse, during which parents are taught skills for warm child rearing, guided on how to enact rules for child acceptable behaviors, trained on how to closely monitor their children during their leisure, and how to make friends and get personal social skill. That's all what we got from our 8 literature review. Thank you.
So, for the methodology part, we designed our experiment, our research, using qualitative and quantitative research approach. We have the questions that we interviewed the students and transfer the questions into a quantitative data. These instruments for this research are based on the interviews with secondary school students. For this research, populations from MRSM13 and MRSM9KB are used. The researcher interviewed a total of 10 students from both MRSM, which involved 5 males and 5 females. The questions are divided into 3 parts. Number 1 is the personal information of the student. Number 2, family background. And number 3 are external factors that may influence the student's behavior. These questions are in the form of closed and open-ended questions, and these respondents are picked randomly without any selection. However, it is limited to only MRSM students.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Hasbin Azhar. Today I would like to present about the findings of our research of the topic factors that influence substance abuse among students. For part A, Table 1 shows the frequency and percentage of respondents from the question survey. Half of the respondents are male, which was 50%, and another 50% more are female. The respondents are between the ages from the 14 to 17 years old. The largest age group to respond to this questionnaire were 16 years old with 50% of all respondents, then 17 years old and 50%. The lowest number of respondents was 14 years old respondent with a frequency of 20%. Through from this research, the number of family members of the respondents were collected, which are between 4 to 8 members. The highest number of frequency of family members of the respondents were 5 with 40% of all respondents. Then 6 family members at 30%, followed by 4 family members at 20%. The lowest number of respondents with 8 family members was 1 with a frequency of 10%. For part B, from the table 2, majority of the respondents involved in discipline problem with a percentage of 80%, while 20% never committed in any discipline cases. From table 3, showed that there are 6 categories of discipline problems that committed by the respondent. The researcher found that couple plus skip class, and vaping were the highest frequency at 20% each, while the rest discipline problems are from couple, skip prep class, not complying with time, and smoking with 10% each. This indicates the common discipline problems occurs in school are skip class, couple plus skip class, and vaping. From table 4, the majority of the respondents have tried any prohibited substances with a percentage of 80%, while 20% never involved with any prohibited substances. Through the result in table 5, there are 3 main substances that have been illegally used by the respondent, which are cigarette, vape, and ketum. Vape has the highest frequency of substances used with 30%, followed by cigarette at 20%, cigarette plus vape at 20%, and the least cigarette plus ketum at 10%. Another 20% represented 2 respondents which were never getting involved with substances abuse. Table 6 shows the involvement of relatives in substance abuse among the respondents. Majority of the respondents stated that their relative has been involved in substance abuse with a frequency at 70%, while frequency of 30% shows that the respondent relative never taking part in any substances abuse. From the table 7, the respondents with the highest frequency of relative involved in substance abuse were at 40%, followed by 3 respondents at 30% with none of relative involved in substance abuse, 2 respondents at 20% with 10 relative, and the lowest number of frequency with involvement of relative was at 10% with 7 relative. For part C, this research has identified the majority of the respondents have friends that involved with substance abuse with 70% compared to 30% of respondents declared that they are friends not involved with illegal use of substances. 6 respondents with a percentage of 60% agreed that using illegal substances such as cigarette, vape, or drug is fun and exciting, while 4 respondents disagree with the statement with a percentage of 40%. The chart shows the percentage of acceptance of respondents toward the actions of vaping or smoking is acceptable among society. It is clearly shown that majority of them are disagree of this action with a percentage of 80%. Researchers believe that bullying can influence a person to consume prohibited substances. The chart above shows the percentage of the respondents that agree with the statement is higher compared to the one who says no, with a comparison of 70% saying yes. In the table 8, respondents classifying the level of assessing towards prohibited substances. 40% of the respondents rated very easy, while another 40% of respondents rated easy towards assessing prohibited substances. Another 20% respondents stated that it is hard for them to access the illegal substances. Respondents also listed the source of prohibited substances that can be easily obtained, such as through convenience store, at home, from peers and family members, and also from the online purchase. The table 9 shows other external factors that can influence individuals to take prohibited substances. Researchers collected all the respondents' answers and categorized it according to three main factors, which is the family, social, and also individual. Several respondents stated that family could be one of the main factors, including broken family, family influence, family problem, and lack of parents' attention in the survey question. While 9 of the respondents stated that friends, peers, relatives, trends, and internet access could be the social factor. Under the individual factor, 4 respondents highlighted that the causes of someone taking prohibited substances due to stress, curiosity, and also personal problems. Thank you.
Hi, let me introduce myself. I am Anis Ayuni binti Risan, and I would like to present about discussion and conclusion regarding factors that influence substance abuse among students. For this project, our group have two different research questions, which is the research question number 1, discussion on the family backgrounds that influence students' behavior in terms of substance abuse. And the research questions number 2 is the discussions on the external factors that influence substance abuse among students. According to the conclusion drawn from the quantitative and also qualitative data presented by Hassan before, smoking, which is including cigarette smoking and also vaping, accounted for most substance misuse cases in schools. According to the data gathered, smoking was a substance use activity that over 80% of the respondents engaged in. Only a small percentage of students refrain from engaging in any drug-related activity. For the discussions for research questions number 1, according to the study's result, most respondents, which is 60%, have close relatives who use these prohibited substances. Only 40% of the respondents reported having problems with their families, such as broken family, a lack of parental attentions, a low family income, parent-child conflict, and also sibling-sibling conflict. This means that it is possible for them to be influenced to take an illegal substances if more of their close relatives are doing it around them. Family background or family issue, however, has a little effect on a student's decisions to use forbidden substances. This issue is not answered in research questions number 1, since our respondents is limited to only 10 students. For the research questions number 2, the quantitative result showed that more than half of the students, which is 70%, knew peers who participated in activities involving the use of illegal substances, while just a teeny minority said they do not have any friends who participating in these activities. This is since the majority of them believe that using these illegal substances, especially smoking, looks so hip and looks so fascinating. The result of the study also showed that bullying can lead kids to engage in drug usage. It is both either kids who bully others or kids who are bullied. Additionally, the qualitative results showed that 80% of the students said peer pressure or peer influence was a significant factor in their decision to take these illegal substances. Other external factors include stress in studies, a curiosity inside students that makes them want to try something new, and they also want to follow the current trends. This answers the research questions number 2. For the conclusions, to sum up everything, we as a nation have to acknowledge that substance abuse is prevalent and on the rise among secondary school students in Malaysia. Henceforth, we have to embrace the fact that if substance abuse among the youth is on the rise, it actually can impact the nation's aspirations to achieve its visions to become a successful country. Thank you.